Good morning. So we conclude chapter 32 now. Hey, Midias. Stop that already. So we conclude chapter 32, circular flow of income. In the last class, we talked about the simple circular flow, which is a closed economy. But we said that in a closed economy, it is not always a realistic thing. It is just theoretical. Why is it theoretical? It is theoretical because there's interdependence, there's interconnectedness, there's globalization. So there's specialization. Each country will have its strengths. Each country will have its weakness. So that means country A would need country B. Country B would need country C and D and so on. So that means we cannot just do all alone. We need others. That is why it is not realistic. So to make it realistic, we need to check about injections and withdrawals. But before we go into injections and withdrawals, we need to quickly understand that in a simple economy, output must be equal and identical to expenditures, and expenditures must be equal and identical to income. So when we talk about a simple economy, everything must be equal and identical, which is not realistic. So we want to make it realistic. That's why we have to talk about an open economy, where there's injection and withdrawals. Are you guys with me? Yes. Stop writing, please. So however, to make this model, this is a model, which is not realistic. It's just theoretical as it is. So we want to make it realistic. So to make it realistic, we need to talk about injection and withdrawals, or leakages. So we start with injections. What's an injection? An injection is the spending that doesn't come from the households. It doesn't come from the household. You know, in the simple economy, spending comes from the household. Households will sell factors of production to get wages, to get salaries, to get profits, and what again? Interest, which they have to spend back to firms. Yes or no? That was we discussed yesterday. But now, the spendings that firms are going to receive doesn't come from the households. It comes from investment, government spending, and exports. So spending does not come from the household anymore. Do we get the point we're making here? Yes. So the households are excluded. There is investment, there's government spending, there's exports. These are what spendings are all about now. So firms, you know, here, firms depends on the households for the factors of production needed for production. But here, firms do not depend on households. Households are excluded because households will not give us equipment. Yes or no? Yes. So, what is investment? This represents spending by firms on new capital equipment such as factories, offices, and machinery. So these are what firms will spend on. And for government will spend on infrastructure, government will spend on education, on health, to boost the economy. So it is not just the individuals anymore trying to get factors of production. So investment is coming from firms. Government is spending to increase the output of the economy. And the last one, exports. Spending by foreigners on goods and services produced in an economy. So it is not only households that are buying. Foreigners start buying. Foreign customers start buying from us because the economy is now open. Unlike before, it is only we that buy from that buy from our economy. But now we are exporting. So money comes into the economy, not from the household. Is it clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Do we get the point, please? This is a closed economy, which is not realistic. So we want to make it realistic. To make it realistic, we need to talk about injection and withdrawals, spending and saving. So for injection, it has to be investment on capital goods. For government spending to increase infrastructure, to entice or to how do I put it, to influence multinationals to come into our country to invest. And exports, foreign businesses or foreign customers start buying what we produce here. These are all injections. Therefore, withdrawals. These are spending that does not flow back from the household to firms. You know, in a closed economy, households have income, profits, interest, and these things. They spend it back to the firms. But here, this money that is received is not going back to the firms. Rather, it's going on savings, taxes, or importation. Are we getting it or not? Now, the households want to spend, but they are not going to spend back to the firms. Rather, they spend on imports, they spend on taxes, they don't even want to spend, they save. So this is what we call leakages or withdrawals. So let's take it one at a time. For saving, this represents the money that was not spent by households. So households do not want to spend anymore. They are not spending, so they are rather saving. Even firms would also save. They won't spend everything to enjoy high interest rates. Do you get savings here? Yes. We are talking about how the economy becomes open. This economy is closed. which is not realistic. We have to make it realistic. That's why we have to talk about injections and spending. Injections is about investment, government spendings, and exports. Then withdrawals, it's about saving. That means you are not spending, you save. Tax, you are paying taxes to government. Not only the firms, individuals are paying taxes too. So when individuals and firms pay taxes, what happens? Money is going out of the firms. Money is going out of the individuals. That's withdrawals. And the last one, imports. They start buying from foreign businesses rather than domestic products. In the closed economy, there's no importation and exportation, right? Yes. But now the economy is open. Because the economy is open, there's international trade. Export, which represents injection, imports, which represents withdrawals. Did we get it, please?
Yes. All right.
So we have to take note. In equilibrium, when there's no tendency for change, injection must be equal to withdrawals. So this must equal to this. Assumption that there's no changes within the economy. So whatever we withdraw must be equivalent to whatever we've injected into the economy. So look at what I wrote here. In equilibrium, when there is no tendency to change, injection must equal withdrawals. When this happens, output, income, and expenditure flowing around the circular flow remains the same. So all these things coming in and out remains constant. Nothing is going to change. So, for example, if injection is greater than withdrawals, what will happen? Injection means people are investing, government is spending, there's exportation, right? If this is greater than withdrawals, it means output must increase. Because this represents output. Yes or no? We don't talk about exportation, increasing the exportation without producing. Yes or no?
Yes.
Firms have invested in capital goods for what? To increase output. Yes or no? Government has invested in infrastructure to do what? To increase output. To encourage multinationals to come into the country. So this, if it's greater than this, it must reflect with output. If not, it's not going to work. So greater injection than withdrawals must be reflected through output. Do we get it?
Yes.
This must represent output. That means the output of the economy is increasing. That is why we are having greater injection than withdrawals. So we have to make it, because we said they have to balance, right? To make them balance, it has to be balanced through output. So whatever we have done here must be a reflection of our output. Do we get it?
Yes.
That's about that. Then, on the